mind one thought at a time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Changing Minds Online Empowering Women series. It is a beautiful, beautiful night here in New Jersey, perfect weather, and I'm so excited for tonight's call. Akina, how are you doing?
I am great. I am so great. You know, I actually found out yesterday that during a shopping trip that I on my way, as everybody knows about my weight loss journey, I actually lost another size. I am 2 sizes away from my goal. I'm so excited.
Well, congratulations. I am so proud of you and so proud of your transformation. And, you know, on that note, and I know we kind of usually keep our businesses separate, but we are both helping people currently lose weight as well. And I just came back to see my trainer, too, and I had all my measurements done. And in the last 60 days, I actually lost 5% body fat, which is amazing. I was just so thrilled and excited about it. So great things are coming both of our ways, right, just in time for summer. I'm just so excited. It's an amazing journey. And tonight we're talking a lot about health tonight. And, you know, health is a topic that comes up a lot on our Empowering Women series. And some people may ask us, well, why do you dedicate so much time to talking about being healthy? See, here's the thing. If you don't feel well, you can't produce well. You know, and for me, you can't possibly create the life of your dreams and be creating and manifesting at your full potential if you're not feeling really great in your body. See, I believe as women, we deserve to feel the way God created our bodies to be. We were created perfectly in His image to be amazing, abundant, and just to do amazing things. I mean, I was sitting in church this Sunday and listening to the pastor preach. He was talking about how, you know, as Christians and in friendship with God, we can work miracles, we can cast out demons, we can cure illnesses, we can just claim all these amazing miracles. But here's the thing, right? If we're not taking care of our temples, our bodies, we can't do those things because our bodies are just, it is where our source of power comes from, right? So if we're tired all the time, if we don't have energy, who knows what opportunities we're going to be missing on a daily basis because we didn't really feel our best. And for me, I love to talk about the topic tonight, which is really holistic health. See, in Western society, we tend to focus only on what's wrong with our bodies. You know, you go to the doctor and you get a physical, and I just started, as many of you know, a new job recently, a few months ago. So I went for a physical, and, you know, they were like, well, nothing's wrong. And I'm like, well, why are we focusing on, like, something being wrong, right? As humans, like, we should be, as people, especially as entrepreneurs, we should be focusing on feeling great. We shouldn't just be settling on for not feeling bad. And for me, that's what holistic health is, and it's why I'm so excited to bring really an expert in the field of holistic health who can just train us all so much tonight on really what it means to actually take care of your body and to seek after optimal health and ideal health rather than to just seek after, you know, having that be your standard, rather than just say, okay, you know what, as long as I'm not sick. Because let me tell you something, as Akina and I both already just pointed out, our business is taking off, right? We are thankful. We're so thankful that we're getting better numbers than ever for our podcast. Even on this call, we know there's tons of people listening in tonight. We are so excited and blessed by that. But it's because we're on our entire lives, we're not settling for not being bad. We're seeking after feeling really great and doing really great things. So it's, you know, with that said, it's such an honor to bring an amazing friend of mine onto the call tonight who is an expert in the field of holistic health. This person is a certified nutrition and holistic coach from the Integrative School of Nutrition. Her and I did a transformation work together. We graduated from the same leadership program. She was actually one of my mentors when I was doing the leadership program. It's absolute beautiful, generous soul. She's so caring. She's so giving. She brought me, and this is just a speak of who she is, because I think she has this amazing energy and amazing spirit. When I was doing my work through my leadership program, the hours were really rigorous, and I wasn't able to take my car into Manhattan at the time from where I was living in the Bronx, just due to the overwhelming amount of traffic. And just to make sure I got home safely and I was, you know, happy to be there and refreshed the next morning, she drove me home every night out of her way. I mean, She just has a soul that's just a heart of gold, and I'm just so excited to welcome her on the call tonight. Tonight, my great friend Adriana Natasha is going to be joining us. So, Adriana, it is such a privilege to have you on our podcast tonight.
Thank you so much, Jessica and Akina. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on this call tonight. It's such a pleasure to really have this conversation and to hold space with you ladies and with your listeners to really discuss this amazing topic for women especially, really honing in their holistic health. I'm just so pleased and so excited to give you all the nurturing, meaty information that you guys should just take and run with it. Thank you. Thank you both.
Excuse me, absolutely. Now, Adriana, obviously, right, we know what holistic health is, and I know that it's been such a crucial part of my life. I've been practicing on myself, really. I've been a student of holistic health for, 17 years. I was 12 when I first started my journey on really experiencing holistic health. But for those of us who are on the call tonight, some people may never have heard of it, or they might have heard of it in, seeing these books in the self-help section of Barnes & Noble, but didn't really know what it was or what it meant or thought it wasn't for them. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what it really means, what it is, how it differs from traditional medicine, not necessarily replacing it, but how it can be really used complementary and how it really is just for everyone? Would you be able to just elaborate a little bit about that from your expert opinion?
Absolutely. Well, holistic health is actually an approach to life. Rather than focusing on illness or specific parts of the body, this ancient approach to health considers the whole person and how he or she interacts with his or her environment. It really emphasizes the connection of mind, body, and spirit. And, the modern approach to health are unpredictable these days with, very high failure rates. The use of synthetic drugs without consideration for the body, mind, and spirit as a whole has really created very unhealthy populations around the world. And that's why I think holistic health is so important. I think the need is evident, and people are ready for a change, pretty much. Western medicine, as we know it now, is a reductionist in nature. And you know this more than anything else, Jessica, full of specialists focused on one organ or system of the body. However, the human body is so full of biochemical and bioenergetic feedback loops that this approach is no longer serving us for unwinding more complex problems. This side effects, pretty much the scientific side effects interventions are so widespread now that deaths resulting from doctors' interventions are the number 3 killer in America. I'm not sure if you knew that, but I'm sure you did. But, a holistic approach to health really honors the interaction between cells, organs, and systems in the body and looks for long-term sustainable solutions that really target the cause of an imbalance or illness. Why didn't it work, or why does conventional holistic health or wisdom is just plain wrong? Well, if you look at the roots of conventional medicine, which is drug and surgery-based medical procedures, it traces back to a famous scientist and philosopher who was really characterized by his rationalistic worldview, and that was René Descartes. And his philosophy of Cartesianism was the separation of the mind from the body. I think, therefore I am, so which pretty much led to many fields of specializations that now comprise of the conventional approach to health, each of which focuses on a particular branch of medicine and the organ it treats. So usually with little regard to how these parts are intertwined and the dynamic relationship between them. So it really doesn't work, We're whole people. We're not parts. I mean, we are parts, but, we need to look at the full spectrum of what's going on in our body and not just one specific thing. And that's what holistic health is, Conventional medicine is a model that pretty much takes an authoritarian approach to the physician-patient relationship and primarily promotes drugs and surgery to remedy physical symptoms, and that is, to a degree, just plain wrong. Yeah.
Well,
wow, that's really amazing. Sense, Yeah, it's so powerful.
Yes. So when you are talking about holistic, because, I am new to holistic health, so this is a perfect topic for me to learn from. So how did you decide that you wanted to learn more about holistic health? How did you decide that this was the choice for you?
Well, at a very young age, when I was in my mother's womb, when I was born, actually, I weighed in at 10 pounds and 2 ounces. I was a very big baby. And as I grew up, I started gaining more weight living in New York City. I was born and raised in New York City. And living in New York City, I was always inside with my grandmother, and she had 10 kids to feed. She came from the Dominican Republic with 10 kids and just tried to make it happen, this one single mom. And, it was a little dangerous in the 80s, and I'm dating myself here. But, it was a little dangerous during those times. So I stayed in the house with my grandmother, and I always stayed next to her in the kitchen, helping her cook and tasting the food. And so I started gaining a lot of weight. And when I turned 12 years old, I weighed 215 pounds. I was an obese child, and just very unhappy and unhealthy, and it was just not looking very, very sweet for me. So, I started, I'd say in middle school, I started playing basketball, and basketball was my outlet. I lost a lot of the quote-unquote baby fat, and I also found freedom, in getting out of the house playing basketball. So I found that outlet, and I said, okay, this is working for me. But, I didn't necessarily have the right nutrition when I was home. So I noticed that, yes, I lost a lot of the weight, and I felt a bit more confident in myself. There was still something missing. My energy was somewhat up, and it would fluctuate, and it wasn't consistent. And I used to read a lot about health wellness during those times, and it was just so much overwhelming information that I just didn't know what to believe or how to go about things. And at a young age, I wasn't really making a lot of money to buy my own, healthy stuff. I had to eat what was at home. So it wasn't until I was in my 20s where I reached my max, my best weight of 140 pounds at 20% body fat. That was like a turning point for me. I was involved heavily in working out and doing it right and eating properly. But then after that, I noticed that this had to become a lifestyle, and I wasn't really taking it as a lifestyle. I was taking it as like, okay, 3 months I'm going to just work on building my body, and then I can do whatever I want after that. No, it wasn't working. And not only that, I also wasn't 100% confident in my newfound body, even at 140 pounds and 20% body fat. I was still seeing myself as like this insecure girl, who was fat. So at that point, I realized, okay, something needs to give here. I need to change something here. For like maybe a couple of years after that, I was consistent with this downward spiral of negative thoughts and things just ruminating my mind until one of my girlfriends introduced me to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And from there, I completely honed in the holistic lifestyle, and I just immersed myself in this amazing education of how to really be in alignment of your mind, body, and soul, and really get clear about what it is that, who am I and what I want in this world. And as I was going through IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I was also going through the leadership program that Jessica and I were in. And it just worked so perfectly together. And this just made a complete 180-degree change in my life. And ever since then, it's been an amazing journey where now the tools and the resources that I have acquired during this time, I just want to offer to all these women that really deserve it. And this is how I came to grips with it. And I said, you know what, this is actually what I really want to do. And I enjoy doing it. And to see somebody, a woman, especially women that are just amazing in this world that really hold it down and rule it here, just to see them transform and to see them grow and just come alive in their glory is just an over the top fulfilling experience for me. And so I continued, doing the work, and that's why I'm here now to offer this to you.
Wow, that's so powerful. You know, it's interesting because I also started, on a holistic health for actually a long time ago. I said 17 years ago. For me, it was 12. And it's really funny because I'm kind of laughing as I'm sitting here listening to your story that you were born, at a 10-pound baby. Well, I was actually born very much premature, and I was a very, very tiny child. I was in the NICU for a long time. They didn't think I would survive, and obviously I did. But I was born with this genetic neurological disorder. And in traditional medicine, there is no treatment for it at all. There's no treatment. There's no cure. So, even to this day, and I would have thought almost 30 years later, at my 29th birthday, they would have come up with some sort of medication. But still to this day, when I go to speak to a doctor, they tell me there's absolutely nothing that they can do. And the problem with, I'm not obviously the only person hearing this, right? The problem, like you said, with traditional medicine or with traditional Western culture is that we just look at, one aspect of things. We look at things from one perspective. And what I love so much about holistic health is it's like a whole body approach. And what I love so much about what you said was that you said, this is a way of life. You said you were doing some things that were focused on being really healthy, like you were working out or you might have given up eating certain foods, but, it wasn't necessarily translating into the results that you want. And that's the thing about it, is that oftentimes we're kind of sold these, fad type of treatments that it's like, okay, well, if you, go to the gym and it's like, I'm always to the gym. I'm a gym rat. So, I'll see that my gym will put up a sign that says, getting ready for bikini season. All you need to do is join the gym for 16 weeks and work on the Pilates reformer and you'll have the abs of your life, right? Well, if you're just looking for those short-term results and you just have this very, kind of, I don't know, so you won't really have this, idea that you're going to create a better way of life. You're just kind of okay, I want to just do this and forget about it. Well, that's not really the way holistic medicine works. Holistic medicine is about just always feeling your best and, like you said, approaching your body as a whole. So, we know that our bodies have, different emotional centers. So oftentimes, when you're under a lot of stress and you have a lot of chaos in your environment, when you're not feeling great about a situation, you'll find that you start to actually manifest physical ailments in your body. So we know that there is a mind-body-spirit connection, and now they're developing this new field of science called psychoimmunology. I don't know, Adriana, if you've heard much about it, but it's the idea that our immune system is actually affected by our thoughts. And it was, if you want to know more about this, one of the most amazing books I think that's really accessible and easy to read and understand, but really just kind of was a pioneer in this field is Dr. Bruce Lipton. The idea of the biology of belief is the name of his book. And it was the idea that our DNA is actually created by our thoughts, and that energy is the smallest component of life. And holistic health, what it seeks to do is it seeks to make sure our energy is always in balance, and in homeostasis is the word in holistic health, that we are always feeling our best. And the thing about holistic health is, and like Adriana put it so eloquently, you can't focus on just one thing. You can't just focus on going to the gym and lifting weights and think that everything's going to be wonderful. Holistically, you want to be taking care of yourself, right? You want to be in a great position financially. This is all part of holistic health. You want to be meditating, whatever your spiritual practices are. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I pray. I worship every single day. I go to church. I know Akeen and I share that in common. We have a spiritual practice. Now, yours may be different than ours, and that's fine, and we respect that. I want everyone to know the love of God, because I just think it's an amazing place to be. But if you pick a different type of worship and a different practice, then I respect that too, right? We respect that, but do some sort of spiritual practice. It's about taking care of yourself fully. You can't expect to eat poorly and to feel great, and you can't expect to be able to meditate and then to, put garbage in your body and then everything's going to be wonderful. If you're the type of person who you're on the go, you're not sleeping, maybe you're an entrepreneur, and we have almost everyone who calls into our calls who are entrepreneurs, right? You guys are on this call because you want to make your life better. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You can be working your butt off, which is fantastic. Do the work. You have to do the work. But you have to also take time for yourself. If you're working 16-hour days and you're sleeping, 5 hours a night and you're ordering pizza and taking energy shots to stay awake, and then you're taking, Tylenol PM to go to bed because you just had too much coffee during the day, right? That's not going to work. Ultimately, it's going to show up somewhere in your body physically. And that's why it's so important to really have balance when it comes to holistic health. So, Adriana, and I know this is something you could probably speak about. And for me, balance, and just especially that balance of that mind, spirit, body connection is just so, so important. What role do you think balance plays in holistic health? And as entrepreneurs, why is balance so important in taking care of your body from a holistic perspective?
Oh, well, again, it's about the whole body. Like you mentioned, the minute you think of something that's positive or even negative, it's going to affect your whole entire body, your whole entire environment. And to find balance is super important. That's the whole point of life, to be quite honest with you. You want to find a equilibrium. And the role that this plays with your life is so grand. For example, I'll give you an example of myself. There was a point where I was completely full circle with my career, with my physical activity, with my creativity, with my spirituality, but I was imbalanced with my relationships, and I had a really bad imbalance with my finances. And it wasn't until I got clear about how to really hone, and be humble about what's going on in my financial situation and with my relationships with people, that I really find a full, what's the word I'm trying to say here? I really found the most fulfilling position in my life, and this is when all the doors of possibilities just completely open, like a full gate of great opportunities and goals that I just completed with everything else. Like, I noticed while having my financial situation and my relationships at an all-time low, my other aspects of my life, they were good, but they weren't great. And until I managed to get a grip on how to maintain a humble and an abundant relationship with my financial situation and my friends and my family and my relationship with, a significant other, did I augment that and make it into just full-blown, amazing, and extraordinary life. And that's when I managed to travel the world for a year and a half, and I managed to, build relationships with people that I would have never imagined I could build relationships with. I started an entrepreneurial boot camp in Santiago, Chile, which was nowhere in my radar. And that would have never happened if I didn't get clear with my financial and my relationships. It just works that way. Balance. So it's like, this world, the environment works as such, where the acorn turns into a tree, and we're constantly self-correcting ourselves. And what we need to do is just be confident and allow it to just self-correct. And when I just let go, surrendered, was humble, and just allowed it to develop on its own with pure heart, did things start to really, really open up for me, and it was just a beautiful blooming flower after that. So yeah, balance is key. It should be a way of life, and many people are not born with the tools to learn how to do these things. So that's why we have you, Jessica, and myself, and Akina, to really offer this information and support these women that are entrepreneurs who really are so zeroed in and focused on their work, which is amazing work that they do, but if you focus on the whole aspect of your life and making time for humbleness in every aspect of your life cycle, will you see you jump to the next stepping stone from 1 second to the next. And believe me, it's happened to me, and it just blew me away, and it continues to happen. And just being open to the practice and really, really being consistent with this practice of being humble and these positive thoughts and constantly surrounding yourself like people with just positive energy like Jessica and Akina, and just being there wholeheartedly, will you see a humongous difference in your life and your business and everywhere else in your circle.
Wow, that is wonderful. You know, as we grow to a close, can you give us a few steps that people can use now to start their holistic journey?
Sure. Thanks, Akina. That's awesome. I will definitely. So, you know, first and foremost, I will disclose that any tips, suggestions, or step-by-step procedures should not be considered medical advice, okay? You know, your body is completely intelligent. It is constantly sending you messages about what it needs for health and balance. You know, these messages appear as cravings, intuitions, and sometimes health problems. You know, when I begin working with my clients, I gift them this 3-month daily journal designed to help them to personally discover what nourishes them, what feeds them, and ultimately what makes their life extraordinary. So from the book, and anyone could write this down and create their own journal, you'll journal in your morning intentions, evening reflections, weekly check-ins, and guided exercises, monthly activities, and progress. And with the morning intentions, you begin each day in a positive way, checking in with yourself and expressing gratitude. Then plan out your goals and action steps. Now, this is super important because the morning sets the tone. You know, you get up, you take a drink of water. This is my ritual. I get up in the morning, I take a drink of water to get my digestive system flowing, because you know you're resting a couple hours throughout the course of the night, so everything's calm. So to get your digestive system and your gut lining just in an emotion of preparing itself to digest things and food, you want to drink some water. And then a nice meditation to get your thoughts in line with your spirit and your body. And that right there is the most nurturing and so, so good, like food for you. I mean, it really is. You know, it's important to do that. So when you do that, you write your intentions. For the rest of the day, you write your action steps. Evening reflections reflect on how your day went. So what worked and what did not. Of course, remembering to be loving and appreciative of your efforts is super important, because you want to give yourself credit. You know, you're working so hard in your business, and you've done so much for everyone else, offering yourself to someone else and being of service. You want to give yourself some credit. You know, weekly check-ins and guided exercises is a way for you to record your new discoveries and accomplishments, so you want to write that down throughout the course of your day. You know, here you take time out to brainstorm and doodle and let your creativity flow with guided exercises that I typically offer during my coaching lessons, but, you know, you can create a system of your own. So monthly activities and progress is used to record and appreciate your great progress at the end of the month. So you want to kind of reflect on what you've done throughout the course of the month, you know, how well you did it and what you can kind of adjust. You want to eliminate highly processed fast foods from your diet and substitute it with real food. Like, this is super important. You know, I use a high quality nutrition supplement. I use organic, non-GMO products in my skincare and my food, and just even my apartment is set up so it has a beautiful flow of energy that comes in and out, and just really it's healing. You know, we're walking organisms. We need this. We need healing constantly. We constantly have to flush our body from the toxins, and really setting up the conditions for you this way is just reaching to optimal health and holistic health. You definitely want to increase your water intake. More than 75% of people are chronically dehydrated. You know, you have headaches, you have chronic fatigue, you have toxicity, digestive issues, premature, you know, everything. Again, and all high cholesterol are all caused by dehydration. And many of these symptoms then go on to pose more serious health risks. So it's good to hydrate every cell in your body properly. So you want to increase your water intake. A good thing to do throughout the course of the week, which I do all the time, is, you start a grocery list that includes, say, 10 to 12 seasonal fruits You know, you want to write down seasonal fruits and veggies because you'll save a couple of dollars too if you buy in seasoned fruits and veggies, but you also want to get this real food in your system and really stay away from the processed stuff. You know, you buy from local farm markets, you know, from first whenever possible. You want to read food labels and eliminate harmful ingredients. Eliminate all goods containing synthetic preservatives, sodas, chips, you know, things that just do not serve your body very well. Artificial flavors and or coloring, you know, things like that. You want to turn off your television, laptops, smartphones, and actually really take it outdoors, you know. And if anyone follows Jessica, you see her on her bike rides, you know. She's always going on her bike rides or her hikes, and this is important. You want to get one with the earth and really take in Mother Nature and appreciate her subtleties. It's just beautiful, you know, and it's nurturing for us because, you know, you think of the word human, the root word is humus, which means of the earth, and this is what we should do, and just hone that and acknowledge it and appreciate it. You want to, again, turn off your television stuff, stop all negative self-chatter in your mind because that can really bog you down for the rest of the day and for the rest of your life even. Catch it mid-thought and reverse it, okay? Prepare and cook 90% of your meals at home. This is where being really committed comes in because I know a lot of people don't have time to cook. But if you go, say, prepare a cookbook, if you have a quick 15-minute cookbook right there next to you, or if you prepare, you take one day Sunday maybe and prepare your meals through Wednesday, and then you do it again Wednesday through Saturday, you'll find that it's actually pretty easy to do. You know, meditate and find stillness is another excellent way to really get involved with holistic healing and health. You know, you even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, sit quietly and comfortably and take a few calming breaths. You know, relax and let your thoughts come and go, paying them no judgment or attention while you focus on your breath. And those are just a few steps that you can immediately take, but there's so much more, and you want to really find something that works for you, a system that works for you.
That's awesome. You know, I was taking copious notes during all of the things that you were saying, and many of them are things that I already do. But I love that. That's just absolutely phenomenal. And you know what? So many of the things you're saying, I just really have been such a crucial part of my journey. So thank you so much for sharing. You know, we're actually at that point in our call where we have to wind down, but we just want to thank you for being so generous, giving of your time, and just all of the wonderful things you taught us tonight. We always thank everyone who's called into our call. You know, thank you so much for trusting us and allowing us to be part of your journey. We love you. We're just so proud of you for even just taking the time to get on this call and just taking that step, setting that intention to just make your life better and really just manifest everything you want in the world. Akina, can you just kind of give us a rundown to everyone of where they can get the recordings of this call if they want to hear it again, or if you're a first-time listener and you want to access any of our previous calls, where you can access our pre-recorded calls that we've done before?
Well, certainly, Jessica. Of course, you can find us on changingmindsonline.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, and, of course, Blog Talk Radio.
Well, thank you so much. This is such an amazing call. Thank you again, Adriana. I just hope everyone puts some of these things, and I know probably all these things are really overwhelming, but pick one or two of them and just start them right away because it's going to make such a big difference for you. But we love you guys. Thanks again. Yes, have a great night, everyone. God bless. Make it a powerful week, and we will be with you on Sunday on our inspirational call.
Thank you so much, Jessica and Akina. I love you guys.
Love you too, girl.
Thank you so much, and good night, everyone.